Okay, so today what we're going to be catching up on is some questions that I've been asked by some of my students. So most importantly, it's going to be just 6 questions that quite a few people actually land up asking. So to any of you, if you are someone who's interested in trading and investing, maybe day trading, maybe you're interested in Forex or trading stocks, these are going to be questions that I think a lot of you are going to really enjoy. So just to quickly introduce myself, my name is Morgan. I'm the director of MS Equities Trading. I train students in about 27 countries around the world. I run a very specialized online training academy, but I also run an investment group. So I spend a huge amount of time trading in the financial markets. I specialize a huge amount in trading FX. I also trade a huge amount in commodities and also have a lot of experience trading stocks as well as indices. So this is going to be something that I'm really going to enjoy answering because these are some questions that I think a lot of you are going to take a lot of value from. If you are someone who is currently learning about how to trade or you are interested in learning about how to trade, I think you're going to like these 6 questions. So I'm going to run through them as fast as possible, but at the same time trying to explain myself. But first, to any of you who are interested in learning a bit more about trading and investing in the financial markets, make sure to head on over to the video library of my YouTube channel. There is tons of educational content for you to choose from. The last video that we uploaded hit the 100th video that we've uploaded so far. There's all types of different educational videos that you can learn from completely free of charge. So make sure to also subscribe if you want to keep updated with all of the content that I upload on a weekly to monthly basis. So for question number 1, this is going to be something that I will need to explain myself a little bit about. But how do you balance your emotions when risking money in the financial market? So in terms of my emotions, when I started out trading, I was about, I think, starting out around about 16, 17 years old. I started gaining a huge amount of momentum, but when I started risking real money, it started to get a bit scary because I obviously didn't have experience doing that. What I came to realize is when I wasn't risking too much money, I wasn't getting too stressed. But as the amount of money I was risking became more and more, and sooner or later I started actually taking a salary from what I was making, I started to become someone who was very emotional about the decisions I made. In terms of how I was able to balance that was I started to focus a huge amount on trying to completely forget about what money I was making and focus more on the success of the trade. So effectively, I had a list of strategies. I used a huge amount. I enjoyed using them. It's the same strategies that I teach all of my students in my training academy. And all I did was I just focused on catching a winning trade. And by doing that, I made sure that I managed my risk and I just go trade by trade, just making sure that I can mark off as many wins on the list every single week. So let's say, for example, I made about $100 to $200 a trade. Every single week, I tried to make sure I was making maybe 3 trades or 4 trades every single week that were winners. So at least I can make anything between $800 to $1,200 when I was starting out. Slowly but surely, as I developed, it got to a point where when I was managing capital for my clients, it became a lot more important to balance my emotions. So I started doing things like performance coaching. I started speaking to psychologists to help teach me a lot more about mind mastery and mastering exactly how I was able to become better at not being emotional. But for yourself, the most important step that you can take is focusing on just catching those winning trades and not worrying too much about the emotions of it. Okay, so question number 2, I think, is probably the most asked question. I think I did do a video on this a few weeks ago, but it is saying, can you work full-time and trade in the Forex markets? Now, this is actually an interesting question because today alone, I actually had a coaching session with one of my students, and this is something that he was asking me is that he wants to focus a lot more on trading and less on his job. Now, it's quite interesting because for myself, I trade a lot more long-term. I used to trade a huge amount intraday, but most of my trades last anything between 10 days to 2 or 3 weeks, which allows me to take the time to find a trade opportunity, trade it, and then wait until the trade plays out. So what that allows a lot of my students to do is a lot of my students work full-time or they are studying full-time. But what it allows them to do is trade for only 2 to 3, sometimes even 5 or 6 hours every single week, and spend most of their time over the weekend having a look for trading opportunities. So how I tend to try and structure it with my students is to say to them, dedicate 3 to 4 hours on the weekend to look for your trade opportunities, and then during the week you can execute them, but then you can go straight back to focusing on your job. A huge amount of traders don't necessarily see this, and they think that they have to kind of dedicate every single day. Now, as long as you focus on a more longer term time frame, which a lot of people think that you can make more money trading shorter time frames and not longer time frames, there is no difference at all. If you're trading longer term time frames, you can actually trade a lot less because you can obviously make a lot more money. If you're trading shorter time frames, you have to trade a huge amount more. Now, to a lot of professional traders that I know, almost all of them trade more longer term, a few days to up to a few weeks, sometimes even a few months. About all of the traders that I know, the professional traders that I'm speaking about, do not focus on trading every single day. So for yourself, you can still work full time and trade Forex. Question number 3 is, how do you stay resilient when you are losing money in a trade? So specifically, I'm going to reference this as in I open up a trade and then it starts losing money. So the most important part about trading is trading your plan. So once you come up with a strategy that you know really works well, you go into the market and you look for an asset class, whether it's Forex or it's commodities or stocks, that matches your strategy. The second you open up a trade opportunity, you immediately have to set your targets and your stop losses. So you have to say to yourself, where am I going to get out if this trade goes wrong, and where am I going to set my target if this trade goes well? Now, when I land up in positions where I'm losing money, of which I do land up in positions like this, I just focus more on having a look at the plan, having a look at the strategy, and on a daily to weekly basis, I'm just monitoring what's happening. So if things are changing, I'm making sure that it still sticks within my strategy. If I see that something seriously fundamentally changes in my plan and it completely breaks my train of thought when I first open the trade, then sometimes I might try and get out of the trade. But in terms of the mental resilience, I try and focus on understanding the strategy more than actually having an emotional connection to the money. At the end of the day, as a trader, we all land up losing money. At the same time, we all land up making money, and it's all about the difference. It's making sure that you can make more than you lose. So in terms of your mental resilience for yourself, try and focus more on your trading plan and don't focus too much on if the trade is losing your money. Obviously, if the trade is losing you money, it might be an opportunity for you to have a look at the trade. But for every single trader, when you open up trades, they don't immediately go into profit. For a period of time, sometimes you will land up having a losing trade. So question number 4 is also going to be a question that a lot of beginner traders ask, and that is, how long does it take before you become a profitable trader? Now, in terms of if you are brand new to trading, for some traders it can take them maybe 6 to 7 months before they are profitable. Some traders that I've seen have taken anything up to 3 months before they are actually becoming profitable and they're trading a live account. Now, for myself, when I first started out, I spent about a year trading on my demo account before I went over to the live accounts, but building that fundamental and building those foundations helped me a huge amount. So when I did land up trading live, I went through a few bumpy patches, but sooner or later I gained my stride and I got really good at what I was doing, and I was able to make quite a bit of money and also make up my losses. So for yourself, what I tend to say is you kind of have to focus more on how much you dedicate yourself. If you don't have a huge amount of time to practice and to study, then it might take you a lot longer to become profitable. But if you're able to dedicate, let's say, for example, 3 hours a day, maybe even 4 hours a day practicing and studying every single day of the week, then there's a very good chance that you're going to become profitable a lot faster. Question number 5, I think, is more specifically towards myself, but it's talking about what is my strongest trading skill and what is my weakest trading skill. Now, in terms of my strongest trading skill, it really comes down to understanding instructions. Now, to myself, when I was very young, I landed up getting really interested in building things called algorithms. Now, the definition of an algorithm is something that follows a set of instructions. And for myself, I came to realize that trading all came down to a set of instructions. So you build your strategy, you make sure it works, and then you just execute based on the instructions. So let's say, for example, there's 5 steps to a trading strategy, similar to the strategies that we teach our students. All you just have to do is find an opportunity in the market that matches the strategy, and then you execute the 5 steps. Now that is something that I consider a really strong trading skill of mine because I usually never deviate from my trading plan. And I think that's a very big reason why in my hedge fund right now, I sit at about an 89% success rate and I haven't had a drawdown over 0.5% realized loss in the last 11 months. So that specifically comes down to just that I'm always focusing on trading my plan, having the strategy and having the set of instructions. In terms of my weakest trading skill, it probably is because I am too conservative. Now, in a way, this can be a good trading skill, but it can also be a bad trading skill. For myself, I land up focusing a lot more on trying to get out of the market as fast as I can once I've made enough money, and rather focusing on moving on to the next trade opportunity. Now, a lot of the times I've landed up in trades where I could have doubled or even tripled my money, but I decided to get out early. And that's something I spend a huge amount of time practicing on, setting my targets and focusing on it. Now, to a lot of you, this might sound like something that's a rookie thing to do, but a huge amount of professional traders have this. For myself, when I'm managing capital for my clients, I have to be very conservative and it's a huge amount of money. So I don't want to land up losing the money that I'm investing. So that's also a big step, is by being conservative, I know that I'm not going to land up getting myself caught out, but it is still something that I could develop and become a lot better at. So the last question is talking about if Forex is the best way to make money. Now, in terms of my opinion, I came from a background where I was focusing more on trading commodities and stocks. When I landed up getting involved in FX and trading a huge amount of Forex, I landed up seeing that I was performing a huge amount better than when I was trading stocks. Say, for example, if I had a stock that I was trying to buy up and it was a failed breakout and the stock began to fall below where I entered, there was a high probability that that position might not recover for a long period of time and I'd have to get out of that position in a loss. When it comes to trading FX, I come to realize that as long as I manage my risk very, very carefully, if the trade opportunity doesn't turn out perfectly, there could always be something else in the market that might move the opportunity into a profitable area. Now think of it this way, if I was trading Apple and the Apple stock landed up falling below where I entered, the only variables that are going to impact the performance of Apple is whatever is happening in that company at that period of time. But let's say, for example, on Forex, I'm trading the euro versus the US dollar. And let's say something happens in the US which badly impacts my trade and I start losing money. But next thing, something positive happens in Europe and the trade starts pivoting against my losses. What I'm effectively saying is in FX trading that, you get a lot more opportunities for the currency pair to recover because you're trading two currencies against each other. Now, also in terms of the accessibility, trading FX is a lot easier than trading other types of asset classes. As an example, when you're trading something like a commodity, oil or gold, there's a huge amount of fundamentals that come into it. But in terms of trading FX, a huge amount of people land up only using technical analysis strategies, which in a way are a lot easier and a lot simpler to make use of. So in terms of someone who's starting out as a beginner, sometimes I tend to say try and focus on getting good at trading Forex before you move into something else. But in terms of if it's the best way to make money, I think it might in a way be an easier way to start, but there are tons of asset classes. So you have Forex, you have stocks, you also have synthetic derivatives, which cover a huge amount of those. You can also trade commodities and indices on top of that. And there are a lot more advanced asset classes that you can trade once you gain a lot more experience. So to all of you, I hope that you've been able to take a lot of information from this video. It was just 6 simple questions that some people landed up asking me, and we thought that it would be best if we'd address it in this video. But there is also something really, really nice that I wanted to give out to you. So currently, we are in the month of July, and that is a month just before my birthday and also a month before I close out the Alpha Capital hedge fund trading track record for the 12 months. So over the last 11 months, Alpha Capital has done incredibly well. We've had a really, really good performance. I actually throw up the link right here. So that is my trading track record. That's a complete verified track record that you can have a look at. That's the account that I manage. There's going to be a link down below in the description if you want to look into it a bit easier. But we had an incredible month, and there's also some huge projects coming out very soon that I can't wait to announce to all of you. But in celebration of all of this, I have decided that I'm going to be giving away 60 spots in the MSE Training Academy. So as you know, I train students in 27 countries around the world. I built a very specialized online training academy where I took everything that I know and I put it into a beautiful program that I now give out to students all over the world. On top of that, we also have the full online access. We provide extensive testing and assessments. We also are going to be providing private coaching access. But something that is really nice for you, as you can see on this picture I'm about to pop up right now, what you're going to see is that we are not just going to be cutting the price from $850 per student for 12 months of training. We are going to be cutting it all the way down to $150. So for that, you're going to get 12 months full access to the entire academy, all expenses paid for that single $150 payment. You're also going to get 3 coaching sessions with me of 1 hour each over those 12 months, where you can sit down with me, ask any questions that you want, and I will spend that hour working directly with you. Now, on top of that, it is all online access, and we have built very specialized mobile app application access as well. So you'll be able to study on your mobile app, your tablet, your phone, wherever you are in the world at any point in time. You'll have full access to the academy throughout the day. So it's completely accessible to everyone. As you can see, it is a very cost-effective program. So only for $150, the first 60 students that email study@msequitiestrading.com and request to join the program for the $150 will get their spot taken. So the second we receive your email, what my team will do is they'll get in direct contact with you. They'll send you all the information about the program so you can have a look at everything. And then they are going to send you a link to our company's PayPal account. The second your payment goes through, your course activation goes live immediately. And also on top of that, you're going to get access to my coaching team to make sure that they can give you access to support. So any support queries you have, they will be there to help you. But on top of that, as you will know, make sure to visit msequitiestrading.com. There's going to be a link down below in the description, and you can learn all about our training academy, how we train our students and where we train them all over the world. And you'll be able to have a look at our training curriculum. So to any of you who really want to actually take the next step and learn about trading and investing, now this is the opportunity to have an incredibly cost-effective opportunity. For only $150, you'll get the 12 months worth of training. So to any of you, once again, make sure to email us, get in contact with us, and we will make sure to get straight back to you. Once again, hope you have a great week going forward, and I will make sure to see you in the next video. Cheers for now, everyone.